Welcome back. Now, a month-long campaign for heart health has just started, focusing on the prevention of strokes in men and women over 40.
Yes, joining us to discuss are Sandra Kelly, who suffered a stroke at the age of 38, and Dr. Angie Brown, Medical Director of Irish Heart. You're both very welcome, ladies.
Morning, ladies.
Thank you for joining us. Sandra, I'm going to come to you first, because when we think of stroke, we think of older people.
Yeah.
You were 38 and you had just given birth to your baby, so a week after you gave birth, is that right?
Yeah.
Tell us what happened.
Well, I come home, no problems, I was feeling fine, but a couple of days after coming home I just started to feel unwell, and I thought, well, I've just had a baby, so that's normal, but it wouldn't go away, so I said I'll give myself a week before I go to my doctor, because I thought he'd just send me home. And when I went to my doctor, he did a blood pressure check and my blood pressure was up over 210. And straight away he sent me back to the maternity hospital because they thought it was post-eclampsia.
Okay.
And after a couple of days of trying to get my blood pressure under control, I lost my eyesight. And that's when they realised that there was something, that this wasn't anything to do with eclampsia. And I was sent to Beaumont Hospital for an MRI, and they found 2 bleeds in my brain. So they knew I'd had a stroke then, and I stayed in Beaumont for another 5 weeks.
So you were in the process of having this stroke when your blood pressure was high, when you were feeling unwell?
Yes. Wow. Yeah, just nothing specific, just not feeling great, and I just put it down to having had a child.
Of course.
On hindsight, I now know that that feeling of unwell was actually my blood pressure going up constantly every day to a point of 210. So,
one of the many things that's incredible about that story, Sandra, is that you're 38 years old.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about before we came on air, Dr. Angie, that this is a month-long campaign. And I was asking you, is it targeted at over 40s? Because we do have that preconception that strokes happen to pensioners almost.
That's right, yeah.
But 38 years of age, I mean, how common or how rare is that?
So stroke in itself, it isn't that uncommon. 1 in 5 of us will have a stroke in our lifetime, but there's about 2,000 people every year who have a stroke who are under 65. This is from children, teenagers, to people like Sandra. So that's a lot of people. So this month is all about trying to prevent those. About 80% of strokes are preventable, so that's really our message for this month.
So what are the key messages when it comes to prevention? Or is it signs that we're looking out for, or what is it?
Obviously, you want to look out for the signs of a stroke, you know, which are different if you have a slow stroke like the hemorrhage, but 80% of strokes are due to clots. They happen very quickly, so you may get a sudden slurring of the speech, sudden numbness on one side, loss of facial symmetry, weakness in your arm or your leg. And as you know, the FAST campaign, then it's time to phone an ambulance and get to hospital immediately. But what we want to do is prevent it. So we're encouraging people to get their blood pressure checked. Sandra's blood pressure is really, really high, but people don't often have any symptoms of high blood pressure. So we want people to go get their blood pressure checked. Pharmacy, GP, you know, you can even get your own blood pressure machine. Yeah. So it's not very easy to get your blood pressure checked.
That's one of the things that surprised me about your story, Sandra, is that I always thought that a stroke was an instantaneous thing, that it was like a heart episode. The fact that this had gone on over the space of a week and a half to 2 weeks, and purely for the fact that you went to the doctor just to get an antibiotic because you thought you were a bit run down. I didn't realise that it could happen over a period of weeks.
So Sandra had a bleed in the brain, and that's about 20% of stroke, so it's the less common form. And they do present a little differently, a bit more slowly. But the commonest form of stroke, 80% of strokes, are due to either the artery to the brain blocking off or a little clot flying from the heart or somewhere else to block up the arteries.
Somewhere.
Yeah, so that's a sudden thing. So this is why you get the sudden change, the sudden symptoms.
Immediate.
I was having a chat to the girls during the week as well, and I was saying my dad suffered a stroke a year and a half ago. And much like yours, it was a slow process. Like he drove himself to the hospital. So there wasn't this, you know, sudden drastic emergency. Completely recovered, thanks to Dr. Ronan Collins and his team in Tala Hospital in the stroke unit there. But down to diet, smoking, exercise, all of those huge lectures, and had to change his whole lifestyle. But there is, even though he's recovered, there are, and we were having a chat about this earlier, Sandra, other effects that you do have to be mindful of. And there'll be lots of people out there who have gone through stroke who will identify with this. And some of those are anxiety?
Yes, yeah. It's the sometimes the physical recovery is the easy part. It's the mental recovery is the struggle. It's ongoing. It doesn't end. I mean, I'm 6 years later, and it's still my daily challenge is to just keep my mind under control, to try and keep the anxiety at bay. And sometimes it's seeing a psychologist to talk about the trauma that you went through, because it is a trauma.
And is it a fear of it happening again, Sandra, or is it, oh my God, I can't believe we went through that, or?
It's I can't believe I went through that. Can't believe that. But for the flip of a coin, I'm still here, nearly losing my family or them losing me. It's your mortality is
Frightening.
is face to face with you, and it's trying to deal with that. And it's when you get a headache. So when I get a headache now, it's very hard to keep the anxiety at bay, because
And
I think.
how do you deal with it?
Well, it's tricks of mindfulness. So I've done 2 sessions with a clinical psychologist who's given me some tools to deal with it. So mindfulness is huge. Exercise is another one, just to, because it's good for your mind to be active. And it's listening to your body. If your body is not feeling great today, well, then you cancel whatever it is you had planned and you just rest for the day. Sleep is, I mean, after the fatigue after either type of stroke is huge, and I need to rest.
Yeah,
and
you know that.
I know that now,
and you
but it's
acknowledge
taken
that.
a long time for me to realise I'm not Superwoman. I do have to rest.
Yeah.
And I do
and
have
trusting
to
in
cancel.
yourself. I thought it was interesting that you were saying you wouldn't trust yourself to give the right amount of Calpol to one of the kids. You're a mum of 3.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I've been left with is I mix things up. So I mix up numbers, I mix up words, or I forget words. So I might think I've given one of my children 5 mils of Calpol, but I might not have.
Yeah.
So for a couple of years, it had to be checked. I would write down what I had done, and I would get either my husband or another family member to check that I've given the right dosage. So yeah, it is a trust thing. I have to trust, or I know for certain things I have to really concentrate.
Okay.
I really have to be aware of what I'm doing. I can't just plain sail it.
Okay, and maybe you keep a diary or keep a log of it is handy.
Yeah, particularly when it comes to the medicines, yes.
I think lots of viewers will identify with that, and I think you're very brave to come on and speak about it.
Thanks.
Dr. Angie, it is diet, blood pressure check.
Stop smoking if you smoke. That's a big thing in younger strokes, 40%. So you're twice as likely to have a stroke. Yeah, exercise, as you said, cut down on alcohol. We all drink a bit too much. That increases your weight, increases your blood pressure. So healthy lifestyle. Get your blood pressure checked. That's the main message.
Step 1.
Yeah.
Okay, anything you do today, check your blood
Ladies,
pressure.
thank you so much for coming in and telling your stories.
Thank you.